I'm bigcal, and welcome to my world. It is the end of the month, which only means one thing: DIY gaming box time. So, if you don't know what happens, at the end of every month, the end of these videos, I spin this lovely little roulette wheel. Whatever number it lands on correlates with a game system I own, or, as was a new addition for last month when I redid the box and everything, made it a bit more prettier, I added wrestling games on as well, because that's something I'm interested in collecting everything of. Yeah, so whatever it lands on, I then have to collect for that system, or those particular types of games, for the next month with a budget of £25, trying to get a good mix of quality and quantity. So, when I spun the wheel last month, it landed on the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. It's an interesting console because there were a ton of games for both of those systems. Obviously, the Game Boy will play in Game Boy Color as well, so they're kind of tied in together. A lot of the Game Boy Color games were backwards compatible, but then you had the Game Boy Color exclusives, and yeah, a ton of games there. But it's trying to find the good ones in there that are still cheap and that I don't already own. So it was a little bit more difficult than I thought, just because I left it well the last minute, because I was planning on going to some game shops near to me, and unfortunately didn't do it until until I had a week left, basically. So yeah, let's see then exactly what I managed to pick up. So firstly, we have, and this was a £6.99 game. Oh, and it is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 for the Game Boy Color. Big fan of the Tony Hawk series, as you'll have seen in previous videos, or as you will see in some future videos actually, because they won't come out yet. I picked up a few Tony Hawk's games as of late. So this is just yet another one. Unfortunately, it's crap. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to be great, to be honest. It's a Tony Hawk's game with two buttons. You have A and B. There's not much you can do with it. The stages don't look anything like they do in the actual game. I have absolutely no idea how anything works. I could jump and occasionally do a trick, but I didn't really know how I was doing it. The Game Boy Advance versions of the Tony Hawk's games, much better, especially Tony Hawk's 2 is the one that I've played, and that was a really good transition from a full 3D console to a handheld. The Game Boy Color versions, not so much. Yeah, well. So, next up and lastly, I know, a £15 game, bringing up the total to £21.99, leaving me with £3.01 left. Me not particularly good at math in head, and I didn't write anything down beforehand. This was a £15 game. I genuinely don't even know if that's a good price for it. So, yeah, I don't even know if it's a good price for Tony Hawk's. Probably not, because it's a shit game. But this is an actual good game. I had a blast playing this. Can't really go wrong with this game, and that is Road Rash, also for the Game Boy Color. And I also saw just the regular Game Boy version, but it was complete in box and more money, so yeah, went with the Game Boy Color version, cart only. And it's Road Rash on the Game Boy Color. Yeah, even, 8-bit versions of Road Rash are fun. Obviously most people probably know them more from the 16-bit era, or even 32-bit with the PS1 and the Saturn and things. This is a little bit better, I think, than 8-bit, not quite 16-bit, because Game Boy Color, I'm not even really sure what bit that was. It was just a slight upgrade from the original Game Boy that was an 8-bit handheld. Anyway, yeah, it's Road Rash. You race, you beat people up as you go past. That's it, really, but it's a blast. A lot of people don't really remember it for the actual racing part, but the racing part is still fun. You definitely want to get ahead and meet other racers so you can batter them to death, avoid the cops, avoid cars getting in your way, and it's really, really fun. I was doing so well, and then I got hit by a car and twice in a row and ended up coming in 7th, which is pretty good for me with Road Rash because I'm never normally that good at it. Yeah, I was very impressed with this. Looked pretty good. It's got the hills and everything. The effects there are really fun. And it's Road Rash, but on handheld and in colour. So, yeah, can't go wrong with that. I'm happy with that pick. Not so happy with that pick, but, it's an interesting thing to add to my collection. Tony Hawk's and all. Yeah, well, it even has a battery save in this one. This one doesn't have anything saved, but yeah. So, only 2 games. Probably not the best month, to be honest, like I said. Because I've decided I'm going to look for stuff in actual physical shops when I go, and I had to delay it a week, so it was only last week that I went. I didn't have much time, so I couldn't order anything online and definitely get it in time, especially with this weekend here in the UK being a bank holiday weekend, non-existent. Yeah. So, all that's left to do now is to spin the wheel and see what I have to pick for in the month of May 2023. Christ, we're already up at May. Jesus. Anyway, I'm going to get the wheel here. And instead of messing about taking the camera off there, what I'm going to do is use my old camera. Just for this part. Yeah. Quality's not going to be much different, if any. Yeah, so just film that. Let's get this nice and focused in. Start the filming. Give it a spin. And what's it going to land on? I have no idea. Right, it's at 29, I think. So, yes, that is indeed 29, and 29 is the Super Nintendo. Awesome. Hello, camera. Right, turn that one off. So, for May, I have to collect for the Super Nintendo, one of my favourite consoles of all time. I have a ton of games on my want list. I mean, a ton, like 50 or 60 or something, maybe even more. But again, it's finding them within the budget of £25. There's a chance that I'll only pick up one. So, should be interesting to see. Well, I'm bigcal. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my Game Boy Color games. Let me know if there's anything particular I should pick up for the Super Nintendo next month. And I'll see you again next time.